Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got a couple of clips here. We've got one where $130 billion is being laundered through Canada's system. It's causing problems with the housing situation. Canada is one of the easiest places for criminals to launder and funnel their dirty money through. It's become a big problem. We got this clip here. It says Trudeau government wants life imprisonment for hate speech, but they ignore the $130 billion in illicit funds being snowwashed annually by organized crime.
Raising an important discussion on the mechanics of financial crime in Canada and what is attracting illicit activity to Canadian institutions. How would you characterize the scale of financial crime that is currently taking place in Canada?
Well, look, at an estimated $113 billion annually, that's a pretty substantial portion of relative to Canada's GDP. By all accounts, the issue is getting worse, not better, in part because the bad actors have figured out that in this country we have relatively limited capacity to deter, to enforce, to detect global illicit financial flows. And it drives everything from the cost of living, estimated to have increased real estate prices by 8% based on the Cullen Commission on Money Laundering British Columbia's findings, to the fentanyl crisis in the streets. And of course, fentanyl was a major part of what TD is currently facing its investigation for.
Now, the situation here in Canada, how might you compare oversight here with the system set up in countries such as the US or Australia?
Well, so look at the size of the fines. Here we have in the millions of dollars, and in the U.S. fines regularly range in over $1 billion. So you can see just the scales are just completely different. The U.S., this is something a lot of people don't talk about. Once you get a fine, you also face significant regulatory oversight, auditing, reporting, and the like as a financial institution. So it imposes significant immediate financial cost in terms of the fine. It imposes ongoing business costs in terms of the added regulatory burden, and it of course imposes reputational costs, none of which there has been political will in Canada to impose on financial institutions here. And you can bet that if it's happening with TD in Canada, it is happening among all the major banks. With TD in the United States, it's happening among all the major banks in Canada.
So basically in America, if a financial institute is involved in or allowing these money launderers to wash their cash and buy properties, they can face up to billions of dollars in fines. In Canada, it's a little slap on the wrist if it's millions, right? 10, 20, 30, 50 million. Yeah, whatever. They're making billions every year. But America, $1 billion or more, that is substantial. Not to mention then their books are getting scrubbed through or combed through every year. Like, no bank wants that. The solution here is very simple. The problem is the banks run this country. And while they run in every country, it's very much the Wild West up here. In the real estate industry, if you have a notary office or you're a lawyer or whatever that does real estate deals, you have to file FinTrack reports if you see something suspicious. You never hear anything back on those. And how often do you hear about, crackdowns on money laundering? And what we need is a solution where they go through and they find who's laundering money and buying houses, seize those houses and just take them, keep them as government assets, and then do something with them. Do they sell them off, make money for the government? Then we can reduce taxes, or those houses then removed and then we can build bigger towers to create more housing at a cost, because then now the land didn't have to be purchased. Whatever we want to do, we should just be seizing these money laundering houses from people in other countries. And it's like, tough luck. You'll say, well, that's not fair. Tough luck. What you did is illegal. You illegally got your money out of India, China, wherever, Qatar, you name it. Tough luck. We're taking your house. Justin Trudeau's not going to do that because he's probably good buddies with all the CEOs of RBC and CIBC and Royal Bank, Scotiabank, etc. So they're all just working in this together to get stinking rich. So that's the first clip. On the second one, we've got Senator Don Plett bringing up the Asian Infrastructure Bank, which has also been a big financial disaster. You've got to wonder if there's some funny money going on there as well. We got this clip here with Senator Don Plett. It says, how many jobs were created in Canada by the Trudeau government giving the Asian Infrastructure Bank $250 million? This question has not been answered since March 2021. Watch the Trudeau government say the rules need to be fixed, avoiding all responsibility and accountability. That's what they do. That's what they're known for.
Senator Platt.
Leader, on March 30th of 2021, I put a written question on the Senate order paper asking how many middle-class jobs were created in Canada by this inept Trudeau government giving the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank $250 million.
Wow.
It remains unanswered on our order paper. My office submitted an access to information request to the Finance Department seeking any documents they produced in relation to my order paper question. A response was recently provided. It appears work was done on an answer, but it has all been redacted or withheld.
Of course.
Leader, it's been almost 3 years. Why is this Trudeau government still hiding the answer?
Senator Gold.
Good question.
Well, colleagues, thank you for your question. And again, I will say on many, many occasions, our office does everything that it can do to provide, to transmit requests for information and to encourage the information to be provided in a timely fashion. Although I am gratified with the recent tabling of many dozens of answers, it is still an unacceptable situation that senators should have to wait so long. And that is why that this government supports, as I have said publicly in this chamber and before our Rules Committee, supports a change to the rules of the Senate to bring us more in line with what the practice and rules in the House of Commons to ensure that when senators pose their questions, their legitimate questions to the government, they get an answer in a timely fashion. And that I will continue to push forward for that.
Is he short-circuiting? What's going on here? A timely fashion? Dude, it's been 3 years. What kind of garbage non-answer was that?
Senator Platt.
Oh, we all know why I haven't gotten the answer. The Trudeau government sent $250 million to a bank controlled by Beijing's Communist Party. They got nothing in return. They don't want to admit it in writing. The access to information response shows that in 2021, the Finance Department was instructed to answer my question within a reasonable time. Is 3 years reasonable, Leader? Canadians deserve better.
Senator Gold.
3 years is not a reasonable time, Senator. I stand here to answer as best as I can and as transparently as I can. And when I disagree with either the premises of your questions or indeed even the assertions that you make, I'm not shy to say so. But when I do agree with a situation that is not appropriate, respectful of the Senate, I also stand here. You'll recall, Senators, though I represent the Senate in the government, I also represent the government to the Senate. The Senate to the government, and in that regard, I will continue to push for timely responses to your question.
Mark Gold is an absolute liar. He's a disgrace in the Senate. Like, get him out of there. This guy is just garbage. Just think about that, $250 million. As we're getting to wildfire season, I've mentioned it multiple times, the water bombers, that $250 million at top price for the best in the world, which are made in Calgary, would get us 5 water bombers. We could have had 5 water bombers to put out any fires we had in Canada. Instead, the Trudeau Liberals gave away $250 million of our tax dollars to China. That's it. That's the end of the sentence. There's nothing else there to say. They just gave $250 million to China. You gotta wonder, maybe some of that's coming back to Trudeau after he's out of power. Maybe he's got to deal with Xi Jinping to get some of that money back. Maybe he gets all of it. Maybe he splits it with Freeland. Things are starting to look a little bit suspicious with how Trudeau has intentionally crushed our economy. He's running us into the ground, and you have $250 million just sitting over in China with nobody knowing what that money's for or what it's doing or where it's going. I think it's time to get some more answers on this stuff. No more redacted papers. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this. This kind of crap just pisses me off because it's like we've got so many problems and we have solutions. It's literally our money is being flushed to other countries. Obvious corruption, obvious scandals, obvious people should be going to jail for this, but let me know what you guys think down below. Be sure to subscribe here and hit the thumbs up. This is my second channel. Subscribe to this one. We'll keep fighting for freedom. I'll keep bringing you guys the truth. I'll see you guys on the next one.